And we are live. Welcome, one and all, to another live edition of the Extra Point Show. You see who's flanked to my right, playing the X slot, Mrs. Jerry Rice herself, our international sports correspondent all the way from the Dominican Republic. How goes it today, Tasha T. Sizzle?
It goes great. I am at my newest Shangri-La, which is a rental of a very nice older Dominican lady. This home is huge. She is allowing me to stay here until my new house is completed.
Until your what?
My new house is completed. My new
Until
villa.
your what?
Villa Nueva.
Into su casa completo?
It's a su casa completo. Now
that is so exciting.
I'm just on this is considered the second level. Now you can see in the background, if you can see the ocean just a little. And if you go upstairs, which is there, you can see the ocean. And most of that, you see the black thing here is called a cistern. Most of them have cisterns on top of the roofs because it's cheaper, but you can have your cistern in ground. But what that does is the water is free from 8 to 5 in the country.
Oh, like free nights and weekends on the cell phone?
Yes, but after 5 o'clock, if you do not have enough water in your cistern, you ain't got no water. So
if you actually cooked it, that wouldn't matter much.
Right. But this is what that does. That collects water so that you can have water throughout, because you notice all the homes do not have the cisterns on it because theirs are in the ground. But this particular one is on top. But yes, I am here. Oh, sorry, dog. I'm here relaxing. And she also allowed me to bring all of my furniture from my old home because her home was basically empty. So I do appreciate Miss Isabel.
Well, is Miss Isabel, is she divorced? Is she widowed? I mean, she makes a great candidate for cougars. She got spare houses alone.
Oh, she is a cougarist. She showed me her little gentleman friend who is 19 years younger than her, and he is 48.
Oh, so she could go even younger with me, and I got benefits. I mean,
well, no. Once I leave here, once I vacate her home, she's actually in the process of renovating it while I'm kind of here. She's going to actually move back into this home, or if she can't sell it, she's going to move back in.
Okay, well, a house is not a home if there's not two there. Come on, now. So, Miss Isabel, thank you for providing a nice safe haven for our Miss T. Sizzle. That's what's up. Now, before we go any further, can you please let the good people know who we are sponsored by?
We are sponsored by May Jane's Coffee. That's MAEJANES Coffee. You can get your Colombian, your Honduran, and your Brazilian blend coffee, all freshly ground by my daughter, Denise. And she will actually be back in stock on August 1st. So you'll be able to get your orders to get your coffee, because me being the bad parent, I did not order from the first batch. I did not. Because when she started the company is when I was first moving here, and I wasn't sure of how to get things shipped to me or anything like that. But now that I know that I can actually receive goods and things like that from the United States, I'm going to make my first purchase of my May Jane's coffee.
And I will be making my purchase for this August batch. But can I push back on the bad mom thing? I mean, she's a college graduate. You're very involved in her through high school, college. She's a businesswoman, college graduate. You don't have any grandkids yet? I mean, what did you do wrong?
A little side note here. I would like a grandchild, but...
No pressure, Denise. No pressure. No pressure. Women, Hollywood women having kids in their 40s now, so no pressure.
I don't want to be an old grandma.
You're never going to be old because you're young in your spirit.
I want to take the baby with me, and they'd be like, "Is that your baby?" I'm like,
Well, you still have a long line of time before you get past that stage. You and your daughter do look like twins. Shouts out to the water you all consumed in Nashville, Tennessee. Now, last night, we have a jam-packed show for you, as always. But I want to start right here with you dealing with the big news from last night, because your Detroit Pistons had the number 1 overall pick. They didn't mess it up. They took the best player on the board. They didn't trade down. They took Cade Cunningham out of Oklahoma State, who most people will consider to be a can't-miss generational talent prospect. Is Detroit basketball back? Tasha T. Sizzle?
Detroit basketball. I'm not going to necessarily say that they are back right now because, again, you do have players who in college, they win the Naismith Award. They are the top, this, that, and other thing. Then they get to the pros and they fizzle out. I'm hoping that is not the case with this kid. To be honest, I think I've only seen him play one time. Again, I'm limited here with my viewing on the island, but we do have some pieces there. They're kind of young. And we did, what's the guy? Jeremy Grant. We got Jeremy Grant, who was
Sadiq Bey is a monster.
Yes.
He's a good piece.
He's a good piece. You got Jeremy Grant, who was playing pretty decent when he was in OKC. That's Harvey Grant's son.
Right, and he's with Team USA right now over in Tokyo.
Yes, he almost got that Rona. He was in the anyway.
Right.
But I think, but the team is very young, so I'm hoping the fact that if they're expecting on this rookie to come in and save the team, I hope he is that rookie. I hope he's mature. I hope he's not, living off of, my name, I'm this, I'm that. And I hope that he can, but it's very hard if you're not a rookie like a Giannis or a LeBron or a KD or someone like that who can just come in and just say, yeah, this is my team. I'm that man. I can do this. It's still going to be a struggle. But I'm glad they got him.
You would be happy at his at least at his interview after he got drafted last night. I watched the first round at least, and one of the first things he said was, Detroit is a city just pretty much like me. It's a blue-collar town. They have to work for everything they got. They're passionate about their basketball. They hadn't had much to root for, but that's me. I'm gritty. I'm passionate. I want to get it done on both ends of the floor. I want to be the face of the turnaround here. And like you said, with some of the young players that's entered the league, let's take a look. Luka, who he's drawn comparisons to, Ja Morant, LaMelo Ball, all in their rookie seasons got their teams at least to the play-in tournament. At least. A transcendent star in basketball goes a lot further than it would maybe a rookie quarterback in the NFL. I'm excited for Detroit. I think the Eastern Conference and the NBA is better when Detroit is good. And I think that they'll be in the play-in scenario. They'll be around there fighting for a playoff spot. And while you doing this on now, I want to say what's up to my cousin Angelo Tate, who has a feature film coming out in a little bit. Angelo, drop the name of that of your movie so we can promote that as well. We'll be the official sponsor of that as well, Angelo.
Yes.
Very proud of you. So make sure you drop the name of that, Angelo, in there so we can get that out to the people. Now, you were saying about the Pistons.
I still think that they may be a year or so off. I just do not see it. Hopefully, I will be wrong, but I have not been excited about Detroit basketball since they were ringing that bell for Big Ben in the introductions. and you had Mason yelling out, Detroit basketball. But I don't even though he was, like I said, from what I was reading about him and the one game that I did see, he's an exciting player, but to me, exciting player is like a Ja Morant. Like I don't get that from him.
You don't. He doesn't have the sizzle on the tee, no pun intended, but he does have the fundamentals. Like he can do it all. And the one thing that they said last night that I thought was impressive, that I did see him play a few times last year, is that he doesn't just have a move. He has a counter move and a counter move to that move and a counter move to that move. So, like, I think he's going to be a matchup nightmare. And again, in the East, you're looking at beating out Washington, Charlotte, Indiana.
Those are teams that the Pistons could beat, but the real meaty teams, the Pistons aren't going to be able to touch that. And I mean,
No.
I even still think the Grizzlies are still above them.
Oh yeah. They had a more complete roster when Ja came on board. But yeah, I'm really excited to have Detroit back in the Eastern Conference. At least they're going to be on TV again with the number 1 overall pick, and he sounds like he said all of the right things. Now, Angelo said it's called "Damn Justin Again." It's coming out in September. He plays the lead in the film. As you continue to market and promote, we will continue to do that for you as well. September 30th, I will double check with we may even have a little red carpet review for you. You still got your heels, pull your heels out of your closet. We'll get down for that. That's awesome, Angelo.
I don't even own shoes.
Well, when you live on a beach, I mean, now also in the second round, there was a name that kind of raised my eyebrow that you all selected. That was one Isaiah Livers out of Michigan. Your thoughts? Hey, that's 2. You got 2 ballers in this draft.
I know, but with that one, I think that how some teams always try to pick someone who's regional.
Okay.
I think
they want to get that local TV numbers up.
Yeah, so I think that's more what that pick was about. Just we'll bring the local kid in. Give us some of that Michigan, some of that Ann Arbor love. Get them here. I think that was more about what that pick because.
Look, plus John Beeline is the president of basketball operations there. He's like a consultant role there. So, he's probably going to take a flyer on one of his own. Another blockbuster move that went down yesterday, other than Cade Cunningham going number 1, is something that we touched on last week. Last week, I asked you, who would be a better fit for the Lakers, Chris Paul or Russell Westbrook? You said Westbrook. Well, obviously, Mr. Pelinka, another Michigan man, must have heard you because they put off a blockbuster deal to bring him into L.A. Your thoughts on that? You think this is going to work?
It's going to work simply because now LeBron doesn't have to have all the pressure that he tends. I mean, as much as LeBron is a great player, and I'm not going to take that away from him. In some moments, he tends to shy away from that moment because.
You mean like game 4, 5, and 6 against Phoenix? With no AD, he was not aggressive at all in these playoffs that he just got bounced out of.
Exactly. It's like he wants the praise, but he doesn't want the criticism if the big shot doesn't go in. Somebody like a Westbrook, he don't care if the shot go in or not. If it's 0.7 seconds, it's enough time for him to catch and shoot. Guess what he gonna do? Catch and shoot. And then on top of that, you're not gonna even have a chance to throw it back in because Russ gonna hold the ball, dribble down, 0.7. He gonna click them heels together, and there it is. So you don't have to worry about LeBron sending the ball to not Charlie Villanueva. What's the guy from Brazil with the curly hair or somebody like that to take the shot? You don't have to worry about LeBron in the last minute panicking, which I think is what happened. I mean, that's pressure. I'm not trying to talk bad. No,
he's done that in the past. He's passed up shots where he could have otherwise just put his head down and went to the cup. He's done that. That's out there, yeah.
And Russ is not going to do. Russ doesn't care. Hit or miss, he's going to shoot. And the thing about with AD, he's kind of showing his slip. His slip is hanging a little bit.
Oh my God! Look, can you say that one more time? Because that went over the first row of the pews. The first pew, it went over their head. You said his what?
His slip is showing. Slip is hanging out.
Oh my God. Grandma, may you rest in peace. Quick sidebar. My grandma used to iron her slip before she would take us to school. Yes, we would show up the first period late. Be late in the month going into school. I'm like, that's all right, Grandma. We're gonna hike it. May she rest in peace. I love you, Grandma. So if y'all don't know what a slip is, Gen Z, make sure y'all Google that.
Because I don't even think they still make slips.
Right. Do they have church thongs now? You're not. I'm just saying. They said if you can get through the eye of a needle.
If a camel's hump.
Okay. I'm glad you said that about Anthony Davis because I think the biggest thing and one thing that I didn't really consider last week when you were saying Westbrook over CP3 is the fact that Westbrook gives you AD insurance because AD. Let's keep it real now. He ain't the most durable knife in the knife set. Don't do that. You think it's time to cut them the brow?
It was time to cut that brow when it started connecting like that.
When he started connecting the dots. Look, I think he's injured so much, and it cost him so dearly last year. One thing you can say about Russell Westbrook is that he plays every game, and he plays every game with his damn hair on fire. So if you're LeBron James, you're like, okay, AD gonna miss about 30 games. He gonna come up limping about 15. I got another superstar who I can give the ball to and let him kind of do the offensive thing. He's gonna get his triple-double. He's gonna elbow you out the way for the rebounds. He's gonna give you effort. And just think, if Russell Westbrook was on the Lakers last year, they don't fall all the way to 7. He would have kept them afloat. He would have kept them afloat. You know, maybe that whole playoff thing would have been different. So, as much as I like CP3 as a better fit last week, after seeing it and having some time to digest it, I love Westbrook to LA. Now, does this make the Lakers the favorite over the Nets, in your opinion?
I'm not going to say necessarily makes them the favorite, but this puts them high in contention, especially in the West, because I don't see Phoenix duplicating.
They're not going back.
No, I don't see replicating their success. I don't see that at all. So
they're not going back.
And then the way the Clips are going, we don't know where the braided up pimp is going to go. Is he going to stay? Is he going to go to Dallas?
Hey, and the thing is, even if he does stay, he tore his ACL in June. He ain't gonna be ready until playoff time.
And he's older. He's not a AD Adrian Peterson all day. He's not going to return in 3 months. He's not a Odell Beckham Jr. who's been rehabbing his. But we don't know. Odell hasn't played a game yet. But we do know AD.
I saw him running on that treadmill at 100 miles an hour. So he looks all right. And we know that Kawhi sat out a whole season over a quad. It wasn't even a torn ligament. It wasn't even a quad. It was a quad.
For you don't know about the quad, my thigh sore.
My thigh is sore. You know, when you get that little yanking up in the back of that thigh. Okay. Hold on. No, see, this is what you get right here at the extra point. I Google slip, just text my girlfriend to start getting educated. Your girlfriend is too young to be wearing a slip, Angelo. That's all right. That was back in our heyday.
Because I was wearing a slip when I was 6. That's just.
Don't have your girlfriend putting on no slip and have her slip showing in church. Well, you know what? They might put on the elder board. You know, she might get to be the one to fan the shouting people. Oh, bless her heart. I think you need a slip to do that and the fried chicken in the back for second service.
Yes, you need a slip.
Well, let me let me stop right there. NBA, if you're listening, and I know you're listening because you watched the show. Hold on. He said they look like nightgowns. Yeah.
With lace around the décolletage.
What? Now I'm gonna have to go Google décolletage. You know.
And it's French for neck and chest area.
Like Tommy said, she ain't white, she's French. Oh, as we digress. NBA, if you're listening, can you please give us Lakers versus Brooklyn in next year's NBA Finals? Look at the storylines here. You know that Russell Westbrook wants to beat the brakes off of KD. You know that Kyrie wants to beat the brakes off LeBron. You know LeBron and KD have perpetually been 1 and 2 in the NBA for the last 10, 12 years. They want to knock each other off. You got Harden that ain't never won a ring and all that talent. Woo! Enough to make your head pop off. So, like... So, NBA...
Woo! Enough to make your head pop off.
Woo! So NBA, get it together. Let's get that popping. Now, I want to talk to you. Since we got our laughs in just now, I want to talk to you about something that was a little more serious. Our homegirl, our Olympiad, Miss Simone Biles, She pulled out of the team gymnastics competition about a week ago, and then a few days ago pulled out of the individual competition, citing mental health and not being in the right mental spot. And it has turned into a war of words on Twitter, Facebook, on all of the talking heads, on all of the major networks. Tasha, what was your initial reaction when you saw that she did pull out, and do you support the decision?
My initial reaction was I was upset. And that's me being honest. Because I'm thinking, girl, you can do this. What come on, Simone, really? And then I thought about if I was one of her teammates who has praised her, worshipped her every move for the last 8 years. And I was wondering, do they feel let down? Of course, they're going to say everything they need to say in public.
Mm-hmm.
But you know how we have kitchen table talk. I'm pretty
sure. Yeah, one before the show started.
Right. I'm pretty sure that
will never see the light of day. At least I hope not.
Never. I'm pretty sure there was a lot of kitchen table talk about that. I mean, the team was able to come home with the silver medal. But I do know had Simone competed, they would have probably won the gold. But with that being said, she has every right to pull herself from a competition or from anything in general if she's not feeling it. Who are we to judge when someone? I mean, we give Gen Z a lot of hard time saying they're sensitive. It's the everyone gets a trophy league. I mean, era, which in some parts it is. You have to be so PC with these people now. Mm-hmm. Back in our day, you could say certain things, and even though we knew it was a slur, no one got offended by things that you said. We would say it in jest. Like, mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not going to say the first word, but my friend who is a homosexual male, he calls me a blank hag. Now, if you Google that, you'll know what that is.
Right.
But that was a term that was used in the 70s, the 80s, part of the 90s. And that's what he calls me. You cannot say that now without someone getting offended by it. But with all that being said, she has every right. And me not being the mother of a gymnast, but being the mother of a competitive cheerleader, I have been at competitions and practices where girls and guys are tumbling almost to an Olympic level, and in midair, they freeze up. I've seen children fall on their heads, fall on their necks, break arms, break, hips, everything, fractures in their backs, because for whatever reason, they had a mental block or a mental breakdown in mid-air or mid-tumble. And that is what she's saying happened to her. She was supposed to do
it the twisties in Olympics. Yeah.
She was supposed to do a 2.5, and I think she said she opened up at a 1.5 because her body wasn't feeling it. She was coming off of the vault, which is an apparatus that if she's standing next to it, she is probably taller than her. So for her to be at that height, can you imagine her if she would have opened up in midair when she was upside down and falling on her head? That could be a totally different scenario that we're talking about now, of her being possibly paralyzed instead of, her just pulling out of it or what have you. And right. Noticing when I couldn't really watch a lot, but I would watch clips. She has really kind of been off, even in the trials and even, going in. But her being off was still better than 99.5% of the world.
Right.
But
now,
go ahead.
No. I totally agree. But I want to congratulate Wayne Donaldson for what he said here. And I'm going to read it because I believe this part of the discussion needs to be had as well. He says, I just believe she had a bad day. Let's not diminish real mental health. Now, I was conflicted about this when I decided to broach this subject today, because I did have someone very, very close to me, very close person to me. I saw them go through a real bout of mental health and depression, and what that looks like and what that tastes like, what it feels like, and all of that. She was having the yipsies a little bit before the tournament. Now, it's hard for me when you're wearing a leotard that has a goat on it, and you come out there and you stumble through the first couple of events, and on top of that, the ROC as they're called in the Olympics, Russia or whatever, they come out strong. Now, would it be better for you to say, I'm not, my mind's not with it today, I'm out of here, and use the veil of mental health rather than stand on the podium second to Russia? Could that be a possibility that she wanted to just dip out of this without any harm to her, quote unquote? Now, she took a hit to her reputation, but not to her physical prowess. She's still never been defeated in Olympic competition because she pulled out. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, and speaking of Russia, shouts out to my friend Leo, who lives in Hispaniola Beach Club. He owns a club that I frequent a lot here in the Dominican Republic called Cadillacs. So shouts out to my Russian brethren over here in the Dominican Republic. But that's kind of what I thought. I said, now, was she just, trying to pull out because she screwed up? That's right. Because I did not watch it. I did not see
She bounced off that thing like you hit the corner of the bed on that mattress when you used to play on mama's bed. You hit the corner of that mattress, you're going straight off the screen.
Off to the side. So I'm thinking, did she pull out because, okay, yeah, I'm about to lose? I mean, I did. I had all the negative thoughts. And of course, me being from a different generation, I'm along with that suck it up buttercup type thing. Right. But I can tell this personal story, and I'm pretty sure my daughter does not mind. My grandmother died in 2014. That was Sasha's freshman year of college. Now, of course, my child. She's not sensitive. She's, she's like me. She's, she'll have, normal growing pains, but she's not sensitive at all. Well, I noticed Sasha's grades started slipping in college. I kept looking. Grades were piss poor. Then she got a letter that said she was on academic probation.
Oh my.
Me being that mother, paying for your college because we did not qualify for financial aid. We had a little scholarship. I went in on her. What the F is wrong with you? Because I told you if you didn't keep your grades up to keep your money coming in, that you were going to have to come back to Tennessee and go to school. I mean, I went in on her. I mean, and you know how I go in.
Right. What the hell going on down there in Mississippi?
It was more than that. And she started crying. And I said, is she crying because I'm getting in that ass? Right. I was like, what? And I told her, shut the blank up. What are you crying for? And the first, I try to hold back my tears on this, but the first thing she says, I miss Gran. Sasha was depressed and didn't know how to tell anyone. I did not know that she was that depressed over my grandmother dying, that it was affecting her. Right. My grandmother died October 25th. 2014. Again, school started September. She had been in school, a month and a half?
Right.
And her grades were suffering because she was basically having clinical depression, but didn't know how to tell anybody and did not know that there were resources at the campus to help you deal with that.
You know what? And what you're saying and that's an excellent story, and I'm glad you shared that. Thank God she was at school, because we can get into a whole nother story that if she was at home, they would have told her to leave it on the altar and pray about it until God remove it. And sometimes that's not always the case. Now Wayne chimes in again. He says, now, you and me know what real mental health is coming from the areas that we from. You feel me? Tasha, you from the same area, the suck it up buttercup, where we've seen some things in life that Generation Z might not ever see or hear because of bullying, because of online, all of these rules in place to keep everybody walking on eggshells around people. That wasn't the case when we came up. If you would get bullied, it wasn't cyberbullying. You was getting your ass beat on the bus stop. You know what I'm saying?
And it wasn't called bullying. It was just, they was just effing with you.
They were just teasing with you, and so I think we have to have a thicker skin, but I still go back to, you had on the GOAT outfit. You've won before with broken toes and all of that, people coming out saying that afterwards. When you pulled out on the team, okay, I get you pulling out on the individual. When you pulled out on the team, a couple of them in, and you weren't injured. I get it. You can flip sideways and fall and hit your head and all of that other kind of stuff. But I don't know. Maybe it's a generational thing to where men that's my age and Wayne's age are like, we came up with during the concussion era where there was no concussion protocol in football. We came up in the basketball era where you can knock somebody's teeth out. Then are we just having a hard time resonating that with a young woman? Like, help me with that, like, because I'm unsure.
I have 2 points to make. Again, going back to the cheerleading and tumbling. Sasha tore her ACL in the 7th grade. She was at the gym tumbling. She had a mental block that I was afraid, because Sasha had been cheering since she was 6 years old. And I said, all this money I've wasted on this child going to gymnastics, going to tumbling class, for her to just do a back handspring, it's all gone down the drain. Because what they do in cheerleading, if they're nervous or they have I don't know what it's called in cheerleading, they can be getting ready to do a flip. And this is what they do the whole time. They take a couple of steps. This is what they do. You can see this is what they do with their hands. They just, because mentally, they cannot, it's something in them mentally that says, I cannot do this.
Right.
I cannot
almost like the close your eyes and fall back and let somebody catch you deal. Like, it's hard to do.
Right. It's something mental. And she went through that after she recovered. But the day she threw that first back handspring after recovering from that torn ACL, I was like, yes. I mean, you would think she won the gold medal, because I was thinking, okay, she's got it out of her head now. And then number 2, you're speaking about, back in the CTE era when people could play. I just saw something on Twitter that they were saying the opening clip for the CBS Sports, I think it's from the 80s. Mm-hmm. They said every clip that they show is now an illegal hit.
Right. And my father, who was an avid football fan, who got me and my brother into football at the young 5, 6, 7-year-old stages, like playing tackle football, we had a whole thing of VHS tapes on top of the VCR with the greatest hits, the nastiest hits, the 70s Steelers and the 70s Raiders. Now, Langston says this, and I want to make sure I slow down and read this because this is profound. And speaking of which, shouts out to Langston, who was a first-time grandpa speaking.
Yay!
Shouts out, grandpa. That's what's up. Now, Langston says, mental health is real, and the pressure that people put on you, plus your own pressure, can be overwhelming. As a father that dealt with his child attempting suicide twice, I have a deeper understanding. This was all because her PCH classmate had gotten killed, and she didn't know how to process it. Mm-hmm. It's exactly the story that you were telling about your daughter and your grandmother. It's that's heavy. Now, Wayne comes and says star athletes are being able to cop out with mental health excuse when they are not at their best. Yes, mental health is real, but mental health does not just hit you. It's a buildup. So we need more context on Simone. She just can't leave it like this. Oh, this is good conversation.
And that's
good conversation.
And that's why I believe when she,
what up, TK Kelly?
In those earlier competitions, when she was not at her best, I think it has affected her because she's accustomed to going out there, sticking landings, doing skills that no one else has ever thought of. So Wayne, you do bring up a good point. Wayne is not by himself in thinking it, because that is how I was thinking, because I was upset. I was like, girl, you did all of this, and you're going to pull out on your team like these girls look up to you. But then again, when I thought about leading up, she was not at her best. And I think it got to her. And then you go out here and you see these other teams coming out here performing and doing well. And then the other teammates, the little girl Lee, she won the all around. So was she threatened by possibly being outshined by her own teammate? Could that have
right? And that's another part. And especially when you have the goat sewn into your leotard,
to your uni, to your
uni, you got the goat. Everybody, And I asked someone Thursday. They said that she had said that she felt like she had the weight of the world on her shoulders. I said, did she add to that weight by putting the GOAT on? Because once you say GOAT in any sport, you're going to have a fractured fan base and people are going to start going at it. Who's to go to basketball? Who's to go to the best quarterback? Who's to go? Who's to go?
I mean, without any doubt, she is the GOAT of gymnastics.
She is.
We can just say so. Maybe she didn't need to put the GOAT on a leotard, but she is the GOAT. Just like Serena Williams to me is arguably the GOAT of female tennis. Serena is not winning competitions or matches because she's mentally whatever. Riri getting old. Riri got a little girl.
Them young girls is on that ass.
Right. Them girls.
They own her. They own her. That's what it is. That one girl, Naomi Osaka, she can't beat her.
Then look at Naomi. She said she wasn't going to do interviews because of the mental issue. And again, the glass half full part of me does question a lot of this. But I've said this on the show before. My husband has mental illness issues. My husband has what has now been diagnosed as CPTSD. My husband has had trauma from the time he was a child. And then when he went to war, it made it worse. So me having to deal with someone who, on his best days, my husband is the best man in the world. But on his bad days, I know my limits with him. And I have to give him his space to get his thoughts and his mind back together. Right. So I cannot judge someone who says I pulled out for a mental health reason. Obviously, absolutely. She felt that whatever was going on with her, it was affecting her mentally, that she could injure herself, or she probably in the first time in her life felt like, I cannot do this. I cannot achieve what I came here to do. So to keep my GOAT status, I'm going to pull out.
Okay. Whoa. To what?
Keep her GOAT status. I'm going
and
to
not have any videotape of me going up to there and collecting a bronze. Like Katie Ledecky, she had that Australian swimmer that had been training for years to take her down. Did you see that race?
And normally when you watch a Katie Ledecky meet, you don't even see the second place finisher in the frame.
Not in the frame. Gal just be stroking with it. Hey, that Australian girl, she said she had been training her whole life to take down Katie Ledecky. Katie Ledecky ran her second fastest time of her entire life and still came in second. That could have happened to Simone Biles as well. Mm-hmm. Now, Ledecky jumped in that water and took it like a woman. I'm not saying that Simone didn't take it like a woman. I'm saying the first time we're hearing of mental health is when she was not at her best, as if to suggest that nobody can beat her. Nobody?
I mean, and also, I think with Ledecky, she was setting world records in the damn Olympic trials.
She owns the personal, she owns the world record and the Olympic record.
So she didn't, I don't think in her mind she ever thought that she could be beat. And she got beat in her event, her bread and butter. The reason why she dropped out of college to go professional event.
She ran, and the thing is, I actually watched that race in real time. That girl from Australia ran her down in those last 100 meters. Ran her down. Like, when they came down that last stretch, she just outstroked her. Like, Ledecky, nobody would have thought that going in. I'm just saying that could the yips be, oh my God, Russia came out on top of theirs. Plus, we already know that the scoring wasn't on equal par because now you can go higher than a 10, and they weren't giving her credit for some of the moves that she makes because nobody else could make them. Now, Wayne is coming off the top rope, y'all. Like, he says there was not any reason for her to be in the Olympics. 2 was enough. She pushed her limits in my book. Most get 1, maybe 2. To that Sizzle, you say what?
I thought that. No, don't get me wrong. I love my little black girl magic. But I'm thinking, girl, you out here, you done had 2 public relationships on the gram. I know you're doing grown folks things.
Right.
You're 45 years old.
They was 137 years old when she fought.
And I myself was thinking, what else does she have to prove? Why are you here? Why is she here? Like that's, I was thinking Wayne is saying everything that I normally say to myself on kitchen table talk.
We need Wayne and Langston in the Hollywood squares because I'm trying to keep up with what they're saying in real time, and they're giving such great points. I want to make sure I don't overlook any of them. As you were saying,
it is true. I was thinking, okay, what are you trying to prove? She's what, 24? How old is she? She's older. And most
in Olympic years, she's a cougar.
Because when we were growing up, they were fighting on, okay, your birthday has to be after August or before August, whatever, to be 16, 15 or 16 to even compete. You competed in the Olympics at 16, and we don't see you anymore.
Right.
Except, like, I think Shannon Miller was one of the first ones that broke that mold because she was on 2 Olympic teams. But on that last one, she really did not perform well, but she did 2, and she called it quits.
Right.
But now the thing is, the way these children are growing up now, what I'm going to say, your children and younger adults, their bodies are different from ours as well too. They're able to take a few more physical punches or jabs, if you have it to their bodies, that we couldn't do back in our day.
Right. There was no kale diets in the 70s and 80s. You know what I'm saying? It was not that. Now, again,
let me take that back. You did have Svetlana Horkina. She is Russian. She was I don't know if you remember, she was very tall, slim, slender gymnast. She was very, very good gymnast. She even retired and posed in Playboy Russia. And then she came back in, was it the 2000? I can't remember whichever Olympics when they had the issue with the vault horse. But she came back at an older age after missing at least 2 or 3 Olympics. She didn't do well, but she was still competitive at her age. And she was 26 or 27.
But these young girls was on it. Even with the 18-year-old who actually stepped in for Simone and won the gold. Mm-hmm. We're going to get to her in just a second. We're going to get to her in just a second. Shouts out to Stephanie Colter kicking it online with us. I want to give a shout out to Langston and to Wayne Donaldson because they're making me proud right now, bringing some intellect to this conversation. Y'all got me so confused now. I don't even know which side to take because you're both making great points. Now, Langston said this is not a new thing. It's a hidden thing. And now we're starting to even see.
Put it up so I can.
Okay.
There you go.
And so now we're starting to even see NFL players, as he says, to speak on mental health issues. I know Brandon Marshall was one that originally had brought it to light. Ricky Williams was another.
Marshawn Lynch.
So remember, he was cussing on national TV yesterday.
Remember what Marshawn said? He said you got to take care of your chicken and you got to take care of your mentals.
And your mentals. He said take care of your chickens and take care of your mentals. Yes, he did. Do you think that this will be a flashpoint for more stars? Because remember, Kevin Love, he first said it was migraines before he finally became honest and said he was having anxiety problems in the NBA. Also with Kyrie Irving, said that he had to take some mental health time away. We got on him about stepping away for a couple of weeks, saying he needed to get his mentals right and his chickens right. Shouts out to Michael Hasso. Vince Young was another one. We saw that here in Nashville, where I think that he did have some mental things going on with him transitioning to the NFL with all the money and the fame. And no, people just said he was lazy and checked out when it might have been other things involved there. But
I don't necessarily think with him that it was so much of a mental thing. I just think he was in over his head because
No. 31 and 19 starter.
No, wait a minute. Remember, once he got out, what was he doing when they gave him the job at Texas? Acting a damn fool.
Right.
He was still out in the streets acting a fool, and I don't think that had anything to do with his mentals.
But you got to be mentally challenged to go and take out $1 million loan to go throw a birthday party, and you ain't in the league.
That's not called mentally challenged. That's called.
Okay, we're gonna stop you right there. Now, one thing that was missed in all of the Simone talk, and I thought that it was tragic. I want to make sure that I brought her flowers today, and that's for one, Miss. Is that Suni Lee?
I think
the girl who actually.
Yeah, I think it's Suni.
Juntao. No, it wasn't Utah.
Button.
What's the button? Miss Suni Lee. Now, one thing that we always here at the Extra Point we give credit to and we give credence to is staying ready. Mike is on right now. We always tell each other, "You ready? You don't have to get ready if you stay ready."
Stay
now
ready,
we want
all stars.
Stay Ready All Star. Now, our newest addition to the Stay Ready All Star family is Miss Juntai Lee. Now, I know they're gonna kick me off of YouTube for this one. Miss Suni Lee, 18-year-old Suni Lee. Shouts out to her because they knocked on her door at 3 a.m. She walked out there and won the damn gold. And they said that when she did her floor exercise, she had changed it an hour before she was to perform. And they asked her, how many times had you practiced it? She said 0. She already had some stuff in her. She was ready. She was like, I don't know what I'm going to do out there, but when I get the tumbling, it's just going to be magic. She stayed ready. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just get this out of my system right now because I was so fired up. And I think this was a bigger story than Simone Biles exiting because, hey, there's some believers in these comments. There's some believers watching. Now, y'all know we live by the credence of what God has for you is for you. And when he opens a door for you, can't no man shut. Maybe, just maybe, this isn't so much about Simone Biles, but this was about Mrs. Lee. That God opened a door for her. It was her turn, her time to win the gold.
It's her time.
Maybe Simone wasn't supposed to be in these Olympics. Like Wayne said, you get 1, 2, maybe. Maybe she was pushed down the order and maybe this is her only time to go to the Olympics. But she was ready. She didn't go over there to Tokyo thinking that she was going to compete for a gold medal. She went over there with pom-poms to cheer on Simone.
Yep.
And she wound up winning the gold because she was ready. Tasha, you're coming live from the Dominican Republic. Now, people may think you may have just fell on your head and wound up there. No, this was a plan that you had. Think about all the people who say they want to retire and go live on an island. When the time came for you to do so, you were ready. Mm-hmm. You were ready. Like, let Miss Lee, let that be the overshadowing story in this whole Simone Biles thing. That if you stay ready,
you ain't gotta get ready.
You ain't gotta get ready. Opportunity come knocking, you gonna answer the door like you want some eggs.
Boom. At the door.
When opportunity is at the door, be ready. You just never know. Again, she boarded that 9-hour flight and was like, well, I'm gonna go here, throw my leotard, shake my pom-poms, hope my family. Her family wound up having a watch party for her, and when she wanted to go, did you see them go crazy in Minnesota?
Yes.
Like, won't he do it? Be ready. All I'm saying, anybody who's watching, anybody who's listening, me and Tasha always joke about being a stay ready all-star. Stay ready. You just never know. The thing that you want the most, it could be on the other side of somebody else stepping down. Now, we don't know. God removed the biggest, brightest star in the sport out of her way to let her step to the spotlight. It would have meant nothing if she wasn't ready. Y'all stay ready.
Because how many other girls were over there that were on that podium receiving that silver medal that didn't step up?
Now, Stephanie said it, and I'm going to try to read it in there. Her ancestor said, it's your time, my child, and she shined. Yes. Let that be an encouragement. Like, more than Simone Biles and her mental health state, I was blown away by this girl stepping in because it just took my mind off the Olympics. I was just like,
I did too.
I was like, okay, right. This girl won the gold. Wait a minute, who is this? Like, when it's your turn, it's your time. When it was your turn to leave, couldn't the devil in hell keep you from selling your house back in the States?
Because I'm telling you, I kept looking because all the airports were shut down here. I said, Father, please. With July 1st, and they said, oh, we're opening up the airports. And I was like, yes. So I said, okay, it takes about 2 weeks for them to decide, okay, yeah, I'm going to shut something down. When the 12th got here and that airport was still open, I was ready on the 13th with my little black puppy. Where's my baby? There's my little black puppy right there. I was ready with my little black puppy and my seis maletas to board that plane, that American Airlines flight.
It wasn't 180, was it? No, it couldn't have been 180 because that one didn't make it out the sky. But that's just the thing, like, to all of y'all out there watching, like, me and Tasha, we stay ready. I don't send her a script.
Every now, let me put it like this. You will send me the topics. And sometimes you don't even do that. I'm just shooting from the hip. And a lot of things you send me, because I don't have access to it, I don't know. But I talk on the point that I know. Like, I don't know enough about the guy the Pistons drafted, Cade. I don't know enough about him, but I know what Detroit had, what Detroit has, and what Detroit needs. I can't speak to him and his stats and things like that because I don't know them.
Now, I need you to slow down and take your time to read this from Angelo. Again, ladies and gentlemen, while she reads that, he has a movie coming out on September the 30th. We will be doing a countdown on that. We will be promoting that heavily along with May Jane's Coffee. Yeah, if y'all think, like, people were impressed with me just picking up and leaving and coming to Texas sight unseen, you went out of the damn country. So, and when you look at the Waynes and the Stephanies and the Angelos and the Langstons of the world, they've done the same thing. They walked great leaps of faith to get to where they are now. And I'm proud of you, Los, as well. But shouts out to Miss Lee, a Stay Ready All-Star. Y'all stay ready. God be like this close to blessing you. Like, okay, like Stephanie said, it's your time, my child.
And Angelo, I'm more active on Instagram simply because Facebook just drives me crazy. But it's Tasha D404. That's where I put all my hits on Instagram.
Right, but see, she got a different name for every social media platform to stay. You know, I'm just saying that's. Don't get discouraged if you don't find it on the first try, is all I'm saying. I'm sorry about that. Trying to take another leap of faith. We all are, Angelo. We all are. Your movie is going to be
going to be great.
It's going to be a hit. Now, before we finish with the Olympics, I just want to tell Sha'Carri Richardson just one thing. We get it. We see you. We know what happened was foul. We know the rule is antiquated. Can you sit your multicolored hair down somewhere, please? Just today, she tweeted, right, here looking like a one of them all-star snow cones. Thank you, Angelo. She tweeted about 40 minutes before we went live. I said about an hour and a half before we went live. Y'all missing me yet? So, first you wanted us to boycott and not support any of the other African Americans, people who were going to be representing our country and trying to chase their Olympic dream. You already told us that. You wasn't a Stay Ready All-Star, because if so, you would have had some synthetic pee somewhere on in your bosom, stuck in betwixt here, and in between
to stay room temperature. Or body temperature.
They even got them now where the room temperature thing, you just rubber band to it and stick it down in your bra or stick it in at the waist of your waistband. They shut the door, you go in there, drop it in the cup and roll them up out of the building. Like, you didn't stay ready. So now you're trolling because the U.S. track and field has started and some of the times that are coming in are not as fast as what she ran in her Olympic trials. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I told you, what was it? 2 or 3 weeks ago before this started, I was in full support of her because I'm a smoker and she's a smoker, regardless of what
right. And I'm 420 friendly. Smoke right. All day long.
You can say, "Oh, I hit this after because I found out my mom." Okay, whatever reason, girl, you smoke.
You smoke.
When you smoke crack, don't you? Don't you?
I found that GIF. I'm gonna send it to you. I found the video GIF finally.
So. When she lost me was when the other girl was saying, basically, please don't boycott. We did what we were supposed to do. You have other black athletes. I hate the term African American because Charlize Theron is African. She's from Africa. She's from South Africa. If she's in the United States, is she considered African American?
No, but one time one of my bosses said to somebody was Nigerian. I'm like, that's Nigerian, ma'am. Nigerian. I cannot make this up. Thank God their place is closed now. So I will not be held accountable for her saying, Nigerian, keep going.
And I'm not even trying to say she was being slick. I really think she's that damn ignorant.
No, she didn't. It was the holding in of the last, like, what did you just say?
Like
And
how people don't know how to pronounce Niger, which is also a
right,
country in Africa.
right. You get that
But anyway,
pause.
yeah. But anyway,
I'm
when
serious,
she's
Angelo. Keep going.
so
I'm
when the
serious.
girl so when the girl was saying, please don't support, please support us. You have other people that, have done things where they were supposed to be done, and we need your support as well. And then when she clapped back at that girl for all those talking who had never beat me and who can't beat me, I was like, I'm done. I'm done. And see that,
Down.
and then the thing is, she's getting too much publicity now. She was the face of whatever the advertisement was, and Kanye West song was playing.
Yeah,
Nike
Beats
didn't
by
drop.
Dre, which
Yeah,
is a huge endorsement.
Nike didn't drop her, and a few other people. So now her head is big.
Lay low. Lay low. Talking about, do you miss me now? Like, why are you getting us to root against
No,
your team? Think about it. Now, I'm not a athlete in that regard, but I bought on professional bowling leagues before where there was high price money at stake. Now,
baby,
if I
if
was to
you
get
give it to
myself
me,
disqualified,
I'll give it to you as long as you want. You know I got it, baby. If you
you
give it,
are stupid. So, if I got myself eliminated from a tournament, disqualified for a tournament for whatever reason, and I rooted against my team winning, so I can look what? Like, now we're getting off into the character now. Now we're
see,
starting to cut and slice off.
had I been there, this,
But
that,
you
and
would
the
rather
other
the
thing.
team lose so you can save face? You still smoke the weed. And we don't even care that you smoked the weed. We just care that you didn't pass the test. Come
Right.
on now.
Nobody cares about you smoking. You smoke. Stop
Right.
lying.
80% of people in the workforce smoke weed and they got them jobs. Walk right on into clinic care, shut that door, did whatever they had to do, came on out of there and went to work.
Because
So it's no excuse.
I had interviewed for a part-time job, and I did not know. Oh, it was when I was working with the Titans, and I had just come back from Canada, where me and a certain other person who we cannot name because of her profession,
Absolutely.
we were, smoking on some of that good Canadian. And
Oh, time to die.
our home and native land, true patriot love, and all of us command. But anyway, so when they pop me with the you have to take a drug test, I'm thinking, like I was ruined. So I just kept like guzzling water because I know people's like, if you drink the water, it gets it out. But it had been about 2 weeks. So the day I took that test, I was like, is New Life still open? I need some piss. I need some urine.
Amazon will have it at your front door in 24 to 48 hours, discreetly packaged.
Right. So if you smoke, you know what to do. And then again, she's stupid because this is the biggest stage of your life, your career. This is where you make your bread and butter by going to the Olympics, performing, winning the gold medal, and getting all the cash. But the fact that she's still getting the cash without winning anything is what is giving her the ability to keep tweeting reckless out the side of her neck.
Right. Like,
and I don't like that.
I don't like that either. And I'm like, why are you? And to put a nice little bow on what you was just saying, which was 100% gospel. Even the companies that hire you know you smoke. That's why they tell you ahead of time to take the drug test. They could wait for you to show up and then say, oh, by the way, go ahead and pee before you start real quick and just ha-ha you. They don't even ha-ha you. They say, hey, look, I need you to go over to this place in the next 3 days and go take this test. So they give you all the heads up you need. I'm sure her trainer knew when that test was coming, and we don't even have to relitigate that. But Sha'Carri, shut the hell up. Can we give her a shut the hell up award today?
Yes.
Shut the hell up. Yes. Now, one last person I want to tell to shut the hell up before we logged off for the week. Aaron Rodgers. Oh, Aaron. Oh, A-Rod. Sick of it.
Oh, Ron.
Alien. Alien. That one. That A-Rod. Now, all summer long, he teased and tantalized and talked about retiring, not ever going back to play for Green Bay. I want to be traded. I'm going to go host Jeopardy. I'm going to go do this, that, and the third. And on the day of training camp, whose ass was there on the first day walking in?
Running out with his helmet in his hand and his red number 12 jersey.
Aaron freaking Rodgers. So you're not Tom Brady. You tried to pull a Tom Brady. You thought that you had the team by the scrotums, but you didn't. They didn't give you anything that you really wanted. They didn't trade you. They didn't fire the GM like you wanted. You walked your butt right back in there, and you're gonna have to go out there and play ball. Tasha, did he just waste our entire summer? We talked about this all summer.
What I really think happened, to be honest, is what he wanted to happen.
Really? Which is what?
What he wanted to show the entire state of Wisconsin and the small city of Green Bay is, ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. Think about it. Think about it.
Now, Angelo said, and I believe him, he said when he was driving for Lyft, he met a family member from Wisconsin who said that he is a diva in real life. I so believe that. But see,
again, my point exactly.
But the thing is, I get what you're saying, but the man has as many Super Bowls as Trent Dilfer.
But again, the thing about the Packers of Green Bay.
The Packers of Green Bay.
Kicking oblong ball made of pigskin.
The son.
I need you to stay off the drugs, Sha'Carri. Sha'Carri. But the thing about the Green Bay Packer fan base, win, lose, or draw, they're going to be there.
Yeah, they're going to be there.
Because they say those tickets are willed to people and handed down generation upon generation that you can't even get the ticket unless hey, you one of the players' wives,
you have
family
to be in the lineage,
right, to get those tickets. But he had a point. Basically, they're coming to see me. Look who they brought in. Who did they just sign? Didn't they just sign Randall Cobb? And ain't Randall Cobb about 94 years old?
At least. He has missed 14, 15 games over the last 3 years, but that's Aaron Rodgers' buddy, and he wanted him on the team.
Right. What Aaron's point was, you guys got this general manager. They're not coming here because you're the general manager and you're asking them. They're coming here because of me, because this is what I want. Now,
how much pressure does this put on him to perform this year and win a Super Bowl?
A whole lot. Because let me put it this way. Let me go back to the Randall Cobb situation. And I think I was reading something or listening to something, and somebody said Randall Cobb is now on the team as if his daddy is the coach. He's the player's son. Mm-hmm. Because it's whatever that daddy wants, that's what that son is going to get. Aaron Rodgers is the daddy of the Green Bay Packers. He wanted him there. But, right. Now let them go 1-3. And then you see, Love, get your helmet. You in, put the clipboard down.
Those Green Bay fans are going to pack that stadium on Jordan Love's first start. They did it after Brett Favre thought he was the irreplaceable. And then they slid Aaron Rodgers on in there. Aaron Rodgers is doing the Brett Favre all over again. Oh, am I going to come back? Am I not going to come back? Jordan Love preparing this whole offseason like he's going to be the starter because Aaron Rodgers put that energy out there. Mm-hmm. And then 24 hours before it's time to report, he come flying all the way across the country and showing up. And Aaron Rodgers, you were Jordan Love 13, 14, 15 years ago when you thought you was going to start and Brett Favre would unretire, come back, and Brett Favre wasn't bringing no Super Bowls at that stage of his career. You better win a Super Bowl, Aaron Rodgers.
He coming out
to see Jordan Love.
Looking like Ace Ventura when they was trying to get into the hospital to find Einhorn, Ray Finkel, find his records in that mental institution.
Laces out, Dan. No,
you better have your laces out. Go ahead.
He said, well, Aaron, do it, though. I know we aren't into the preseason, but do you think his chances are good at a Super Bowl? What do you think his chances are?
Yes, because he was supposed to be in the Super Bowl this year. But what did he do?
Got ran through by the GOAT?
He pulled a LeBron.
Hello, Auntie. He pulled a what?
He pulled a LeBron.
What do you mean he pulled a LeBron?
Because he had you want to be the daddy of the team. You want to run. You want to show the Packers what you're doing.
He ain't crown worthy now. Don't put him in the same breath as LeBron.
Instead of you calling an audible, what did you do? You ran the play they called and then diverted. This is what they told me to do. But Aaron, you know good and well. You You could have. Wait a minute. Where's my camera? You could have called a play, and you could have been in that Super Bowl.
Let's go through that whole sequence since everybody wants to throw Matt LaFleur under the bus. First down, you threw the ball out of the back of the end zone. Second down, you threw it right at Devontae Adams' knees to hit the doit. Third down, you throw it in the triple coverage back across your body when you could have foxtrotted. You could have gangster walked into the end zone.
He could have did the Dion.
Right, he could have.
End zone.
And
but
you didn't.
Did not.
But you didn't. And Tom Brady does what Tom Brady do. He gonna close you out. Like any great quarterback would do. That's not even a Tom Brady specific thing. You give any quality quarterback the ball, all he needs is a timeout to beat you. He gonna beat you in a high stakes game like that. So Aaron Rodgers, bruh, you got San Francisco back with their whole defense. All their running backs are back. The receivers are back. They got 2 quarterbacks. You got Tampa Bay, who's brought their whole team back. You got Dallas, who gets Dak back now. Of course, we're talking about a 1-game scenario. We're talking about Green Bay, not Tampa Bay. They can beat Green Bay. There's a lot of teams. Well, I think I bit off a little more than I could chew with the Dallas thing there.
Yeah.
I
need you to regurgitate that like a fly.
Right. Let me scratch that off of there. T. Sizzle, do you have any closing statements? I can't wait for fantasy football either, Angelo. I'm ready. Any closing statements by T. Sizzle today?
No, I really don't have any closing statements today. Again, I'm here relaxing. I actually, oh my God, Langston would like this because Langston always trying to get a joke in on my head where I'm going to remove my headset for a minute. But I actually straightened my hair today. It is in a ponytail because I'm getting ready to do what? Go to the beach and get one of my Atiana sisters to braid my hair. Hold on.
You either going to the beach or you ready to beat somebody's ass.
This is my straight Mother Africa as God intended hair texture, but I mean with the aid of flat irons, but because it makes it a little bit easier for them to braid when you got this faux C here that I'm rocking. I mean, this
that ain't no ultra point. That ain't no ultra point. Okay, it's real straight there. You know, you can rock the natural. Everybody can't rock natural now.
But again, this is aided by flat irons because once I get to the beach, the humidity is going to hit it fast. So I have to get my lady, who is a beautiful Haitian woman. You pronounce it here, Atiana.
Tatiana Ali.
A beautiful Haitian woman who braids this coif.
Look, in closing, I'm going to just tell y'all to stay ready. Stay ready. Your opportunity is en route. What you pray to God for, He's already sent your way. They said luck is when opportunity meets preparation. So just keep preparing as if today is the day. And when you get your chance, run through that wall like Su Young, and you'll be a champion as well. So on behalf, Miss Lee. Hey, ain't that how Chris Tucker kept saying, Lee.
Who you think you kidnapped? Chelsea Clinton?
And on that note, before we get shut down on here, we are out. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.